There's something alive in the ocean right now. Something older than every tree, every flower, and every dinosaur that ever lived. It has no business still being here. It was here when the first fish crawled on a land. It was here when the dinosaurs rose. It was here when they fell. And it is still here, breathing, drifting, waiting. Most people believe extinction is final. That when a species disappears from the fossil record, it is gone. The fossil record has been wrong before. In 1938, a fisherman pulled a creature from the deep whose lineage had been absent from the fossil record for roughly 65 million years. It was still alive, carrying a form so ancient it seemed to belong to another age of the Earth. As though 65 million years simply didn't matter. What if the prehistoric world didn't fully disappear? What if the animals that outlasted the dinosaurs never actually left? Their lineages passed through every major extinction event this planet has recorded. Ice ages, asteroid impacts, oceans turned to acid, and yet their body plans endured, barely touched, barely altered. The question no one is asking loudly enough is, how? Somewhere in the deep ocean, in coastal shallows on scattered islands, and in river systems older than civilization, animals with roots deep in prehistory still move through the same world we do. Living fossils, not frozen in time, but perfected by it. They carry hundreds of millions of years of survival in their blood, their bones, and their silence. And their survival may reveal something about this planet that we have barely begun to understand. This is the story of the animals that refuse to disappear, the ones the prehistoric world left behind. For most of human history, we believe time moved in one direction. Old things die, new things replace them. That is how the world works. That is what we tell ourselves. But natural history is not that clean. It never has been. The fossil record, our primary window into the ancient world, is incomplete by nature. It captures only a fraction of what once lived. Most creatures leave nothing behind. No bones, no impressions, no trace. So when a species vanishes from that record, science makes an assumption. It calls the species extinct, gone, finished, filed under lost. But assumptions have a way of failing. This video is not about prehistoric creatures we lost. It is about the ones we never actually lost at all. The ancient animals that moved through every age of this planet, silently, invisibly, while we built our civilizations on top of them. Some of them are small, overlooked. Some are large, hidden in plain sight. All of them carry something in their bodies that most living things do not. Deep time, not years, not centuries. Hundreds of millions of years of unbroken biological continuity. That is what lives inside these animals. And once you understand what that means, truly understand it, the world you think you know begins to look different. We begin where life itself began, in the water, in the dark. 450 million years ago, this planet looked nothing like it does today. There were no trees, no birds, no mammals. The land was bare rock and wind. Everything that mattered happened in the sea. And in that sea, one particular body plan appeared. Hard-shelled, low to the ground, built for the bottom. Natural selection never strongly rewarded abandoning that design. Not in 450 million years. Not through 5 mass extinctions. Not through the rise and fall of every dominant lineage this planet has produced. Today we call the living version of this creature the horseshoe crab. That name is misleading. It is not a true crab. It is more closely related to spiders and scorpions. A member of a lineage so old it predates most forms of complex life on Earth. But here's where the story becomes genuinely strange. The horseshoe crab did not merely survive. It retained a remarkably conservative body plan across immense stretches of time, while the rest of life on Earth transformed itself beyond recognition. While entire ecosystems rose and collapsed and were replaced, this creature preserved its core architecture. Scientists call animals like this living fossils. The term has a specific meaning. It refers to a lineage whose body plan has remained recognizable and largely stable over vast stretches of geological time. Not identical to its ancestors, not frozen, but consistent enough that fossil and living animal are clear mirrors of each other. How is this possible? Most evolutionary biology tells us that change is constant, that life adapts continuously to shifting environments. And that is true for most lineages. But some creatures occupied niches so stable, so consistent, so ecologically undisturbed across geological time, that there was no strong selective pressure toward radical redesign. The tidal flat, the sandy bottom, the ocean's edge, these environments have remained broadly consistent for hundreds of millions of years. And in them, the horseshoe crab found something rare, permanent residence. But persistence alone is not the most remarkable thing about this animal. Its blood is. Horseshoe crab blood is blue. Not metaphorically, literally blue, because instead of iron-based hemoglobin, which makes human blood red, horseshoe crab blood uses copper-based hemocyanin, an ancient chemistry, one of the oldest oxygen-carrying systems in the animal kingdom. And that ancient blood has a property modern science has long depended on. It detects bacterial contamination with extraordinary sensitivity. Any bacterial toxin introduced near horseshoe crab blood triggers an immediate clotting response, a biological seal against the threat. For decades, modern medicine relied on a compound derived from this ancient animal's blood to certify the safety of injectable medicines and medical devices. The protocols built around it help protect patients across the world from bacterial contamination. A lineage older than the dinosaurs quietly embedded itself into the infrastructure of human survival. Most people who encounter horseshoe crabs on a beach see something ugly, something wrong, something that seems to belong to a different era. They are correct. It does. The horseshoe crab is only the beginning, because the ocean kept one more secret, a larger one that science itself could not accept, until a fisherman made it undeniable. In 1938, a museum curator named Marjorie Courtney Latimer noticed something unusual in a fishing haul off the coast of East London, South Africa. It was large, blue, strange. Its fins were thick and fleshy, almost limb-like. Its scales were heavy and ancient-looking, unlike anything in the contemporary catch. She preserved it. She sent a description to a fish expert named J.L.B. Smith. His response, when he finally examined the specimen, became one of the most famous reactions in the history of natural history. He called it the most important zoological discovery of the century. The animal was a coelacanth, pronounced Coelacanth, a fish whose lineage stretched back over 400 million years. A creature whose relatives had been absent from the fossil record since roughly the end of the Cretaceous period, approximately 65 million years. Science had classified the lineage alongside lost species. Written off, finished, then a net came up from the dark. The discovery unsettled more than just taxonomy, because the coelacanth's closest relatives, in deep evolutionary terms, were the ancient fish that first developed structural precursors to limbs. The thick lobed fins that in related lineages eventually became the first legs that walked on land. The coelacanth itself never made that transition. It stayed in the water, and it retained a body plan that, in its broad strokes, was recognizable across hundreds of millions of years. Today, 2 living species are confirmed, one in the waters off East Africa, one near the Indonesian island of Sulawesi, both living at depths between 100 and 500 meters, both spending their days inside underwater volcanic caves, conserving energy, hunting at night, moving slowly. They are not diminished creatures. They are operating on a different scale of time entirely. The metabolism is slow. Reproduction is slow. A coelacanth pregnancy lasts approximately 3 years. They may live for 60 years or more. But here is what elevates the coelacanth beyond a remarkable prehistoric discovery. Genetic studies suggest the coelacanth lineage has undergone unusually slow rates of molecular change compared with many other vertebrates. Not just the body, the underlying biological code. In long-term ecological stability, major genomic change may simply be less strongly favored. When an environment remains consistent, same depth, same temperature, same prey, the pressures that drive rapid adaptation are reduced. The result is a lineage whose molecular record stretches unusually deep. The animal becomes, in some measurable biological sense, a record of ancient time, preserved not in rock, but in living tissue. And that raises a question this science cannot yet fully answer. If the coelacanth lineage persisted in the deep ocean while we assumed it was gone, if the fossil record missed it entirely for 65 million years, what else might remain in waters we have not yet reached? The ocean covers more than 70% of this planet's surface. The deep ocean, below 200 meters, remains less explored than the surface of the moon. We have mapped more of Mars than we have mapped of our own ocean floor. That is not a poetic observation. It is a measurement, a literal accounting of how much remains undocumented. If what you just heard is already changing how you see this planet, we have only reached the surface of it. This channel exists to go where the comfortable version of natural history does not. If that is the kind of knowledge you're looking for, you already know what this moment is asking of you. Not every ancient survivor remained in the sea. Some lineages persisted on land, in isolated environments where the pressures of competition and predation changed slowly enough to leave certain ancient body plans broadly intact. One such survivor lives on a scattered cluster of islands at the southern edge of the Pacific. Most people in the United States have never seen it. It looks from a distance like an ordinary lizard. It is not ordinary. It is not even a lizard. The tuatara is the last surviving member of an ancient order called Rhynchocephalia. Not a lizard, not a snake, not a crocodile. Something separate. A lineage with biological continuity reaching back approximately 250 million years. When the first dinosaurs appeared on this planet, tuatara relatives were already established. When the non-avian dinosaurs were erased 66 million years ago, this lineage survived. When the great mammals diversified and reshaped every land ecosystem, the tuatara remained in its isolated corner of the world. Recognizable enough in form that paleontologists can trace its ancestry with unusual clarity through the fossil record. But the tuatara's most remarkable feature is not its age. It is what sits on top of its head. A third eye, not metaphorical, not vestigial in the way a human tailbone is vestigial. A functional light-sensing structure, positioned on the crown of the skull, covered by a thin, transparent scale. In young tuataras, this eye can detect light and dark. As the animal matures, the scale thickens and the organ loses its role as a true optical instrument. But the structure remains. This structure is a remnant of something very old. Many ancient vertebrate lineages possessed a similar organ. Most modern animals have lost the external version entirely, retaining only the internal pineal gland, which now regulates hormones and sleep cycles. The tuatara alone among living reptiles has kept the external structure. It is in biological terms a window into a sensory architecture that no longer exists anywhere else on Earth. The tuatara's physiology continues to differ from every other living reptile in important ways. Its optimal body temperature for activity sits around 16 degrees Celsius, far colder than any other living reptile's preferred range. Most reptiles become sluggish and eventually vulnerable at temperatures the tuatara finds comfortable. This cold-adapted system is not a limitation. It is an ancient design, suited to a world that existed before the warm, stable climates most modern reptiles require became widespread. It is a biological memory of a colder Earth, and it is part of why the tuatara lives as long as it does. Some individuals reach over 100 years. They do not reach sexual maturity until approximately 15 years of age. They continue growing until they are in their mid-30s. There are tuataras alive on those islands today that were hatched before the First World War. a living animal on this planet right now, with biological continuity stretching to a world before electricity was common, before the internal combustion engine, before almost everything we consider the modern age. And behind its still eyes, a lineage continuous with the Triassic world. This is what ancient wildlife truly means in the present tense. Not museum pieces, not fossils behind glass, living biological records, moving through the same world we call modern. We have looked at the coastline. We have looked at the islands. Now we go further down. The deep ocean is not simply dark water. It is a separate world. Crushing pressure, near freezing temperature, total absence of light. A world where energy is scarce and movement is expensive. Where every solution to survival has been tested across timescales most minds cannot hold. And it is here, in the permanent dark, that some of the most undisturbed ancient lineages on Earth continue to exist. The Nautilus. Its lineage extends back 500 million years, before land plants, before complex life had fully established itself beyond the sea. The Nautilus was already there, moving through Paleozoic oceans that no longer exist in any recognizable form. It is a cephalopod related to octopus and squid. But while its relatives evolved rapidly, developing complex nervous systems, sophisticated camouflage, and in some cases remarkable problem-solving behavior, the Nautilus lineage changed more slowly. It retained its external shell, something no other living cephalopod possesses. It retained a simple pinhole eye, one of the most primitive visual systems in any living animal. No lens, no focusing mechanism. A hole, admitting light, and yet it sees enough to navigate, enough to locate prey, enough to survive what nothing else survived. The Nautilus spends its days at depths of 300 to 500 meters. It rises at night into shallower water to feed, then descends again before dawn, every night, for a lifespan of up to 20 years. A behavioral rhythm rooted in a lineage that reaches back roughly 500 million years. Its shell, the spiral geometry that has made it an icon of natural history, is not decorative. It is a pressure management system, divided into chambers, sealed and gas-filled, each one abandoned as the animal grows and moves forward into new space. The animal lives only in the outermost chamber. The rest is archive. Not every deep-time lineage conceals itself in the ocean. Some remained in plain sight, in river systems and estuaries that changed less than the continents surrounding them. The crocodilian. Crocodiles and their close relatives have existed in a broadly recognizable form for approximately 83 million years. The broader lineage is older still, stretching back roughly 230 million years to the Triassic. They shared this planet with Tyrannosaurus rex. They were present when the non-avian dinosaurs disappeared. And then they continued. The reason is not mystery. The crocodilian design is built around a very specific and very stable ecological rhythm. Semi-aquatic ambush predator. Low energy expenditure between kills. A heavily armored body plan tolerant of both fresh and salt water. Broad enough prey tolerance to survive the collapse of entire food webs. And a developmental conservatism, meaning their basic biology changes slowly across generations, that kept the core design functional across changing environments. This is the pattern running through every lineage in this video. Not randomness, not luck, design stability in service of ecological persistence. Each of these animals occupied a niche, a specific role in a specific environment, stable enough across geological time to reward consistency over radical change. The tidal flat, the deep water column, the isolated island, the tropical river, environments that outlasted every catastrophe this planet produced. And the lineages suited to those environments outlasted them too. Here is the fact that changes everything. We tend to think of human civilization as the endpoint of something, as the direction that billions of years of biological change was building toward. These animals suggest a different interpretation. The horseshoe crab has been doing what it does since before complex land life appeared. It has no awareness of human civilization in any meaningful sense. In all probability, it will continue long after our particular chapter closes. The tuatara, with its ancient third eye and cold-adapted biology, perceives this world through sensory systems our lineage abandoned before we became mammals. The nautilus descends into the dark each morning, following a behavioral rhythm encoded in a lineage that predates the first vertebrate on land. And in the volcanic caves of the deep ocean, the coelacanth drifts. Slow, patient, its molecular records stretching further back than almost any other living vertebrate lineage. These are not curiosities. They are not lucky exceptions. They are not survivors in the romanticized sense we like to apply to that word. They are among the clearest living expressions of the unbroken thread. The evidence that Earth's most durable biological strategy across deep time is not complexity. It is persistence. These lineages were here long before us. They will, in all likelihood, be here long after. What we covered today is only one layer. There's another story beneath it, not about lineages that survived in plain sight, about animals known from evidence so fragmentary and from deep ocean reports so incomplete that science has never fully agreed on where the documented record ends and open questions begin. Some of the finds are strange enough that researchers are still debating what exactly they represent. We will go there next. If this changed how you see the living world, leave a comment with a creature that unsettled you most. That tells us which direction to go next. And we always follow where the evidence is deepest. The ancient world did not end. It just learned to be quiet.